Hey guys, so we're chilling in my car and I picked like an abandoned parking lot, but there's a lot of people sitting in their cars here and I'm not sure why we all just decided to come here and sit in our cars. I came to a parking lot because Ryan's currently sleeping at home and I just couldn't wait to film this video because I just finished therapy and I had some thoughts and I really wanted to share them with you in a video because I just can't go on pretending everything is normal when it just doesn't feel like that. I actually filmed and edited a completely different video for today on cults, actually. So if you want me to post that, I will at some point. But I'm going to address that first, I think, is my recent videos. Okay, so the one on the cults and then the one I did last week, what was it? I don't even know. But the last few videos I've been doing, I tried this new thing where I scripted them. And granted, I meant for them more to be like, you know, bullet points in my notes on my phone and just things that I could reference. And it ended up being more of a script and I didn't even memorize them. I just kind of read a sentence and then would say it, which it can't, you know, through editing, it does wonders, you know, because there would be multiple statements in the videos. My camera's dying. Great. Okay, we're back. I came to the same parking lot after charging my camera. You'll see cars driving in and out of the background because I changed parking spots because the sun is right there behind a cloud, of course, because why would it be good lighting on a day where I need to film in my car? But the way I was facing earlier, the sun was behind me, so I just figured I'd switch spots. Anyway, moving on with our conversation that we're gonna have today. I was talking about how my videos felt a little scripted, and part of the problem was when I would watch the videos, I wouldn't be happy with them. I think it's because I see the behind the scenes actions of what's happening, of me actually filming it, all of my mess ups, because there's a bajillion more than if I just wing a video, you know? And because I see all that, because of that, I feel like it affects the topic of this video, which is self-esteem, which I feel like is talked about so much because everyone has self-esteem issues. Who doesn't, right? But the fact that I haven't been happy with my work and my production of videos and quality of videos, I have self-esteem issues in almost every aspect of my life now that I feel like this about work, which I've always compared myself to other YouTubers and I've always felt like I would never be good enough or, you know, deserve, you know, followers or subscribers or whatever because I'm me and I don't know, I don't edit how people do, I don't film how people do, I don't talk about things that other people do, and apparently that's a good thing that, you know, you're an individual and you're unique and you talk about things that matter and stuff like that, which helps. Like, I love hearing that. But at the same time, it's really hard when you're so different. And I don't want to be like I'm an outcast, you know? But sometimes I don't feel like I live up to the YouTuber potential, or I'm just not as good as other YouTubers, you know? So in that way, I feel self-esteem issues. But mostly I wanted to talk about being an adult with self-esteem issues, being almost 30 with self-esteem issues, because I always thought it was something that you would grow out of, that, you know, self-esteem issues and low confidence is something that you deal with in your teens and early 20s when you're figuring out who you are. And granted, it's gotten better over the years as I've gotten older because you just know who you are. You just figure your life out kind of, and you're like, yep, this is it. Like, you don't feel self-conscious anymore. But what I found is that my self-esteem issues have shifted from caring about what other people think and outsiders, strangers, the internet, caring about what they think. It's now changed into caring way too much about what the people I love think. I'm constantly questioning after a hangout with someone, did I say something wrong? Was I being a supportive friend? Did I make that conversation all about me? Did I talk about myself too much? Am I being judgy? Like, am I saying the wrong thing? And I overthink every single hangout that I have with my friends because I'm so worried that I'm going to come across a certain way to my best friends and I'm scared to like lose them. And of course, it translates into a relationship. I've been with my boyfriend for almost 5 years now. We live together and I still have self-esteem issues, and I feel like it's because this is really the first time that I'm happy in a relationship. And so one of my biggest fears is losing it. And I know you're supposed to put on a confident face and be like, you know, it's his loss if he chooses to leave and blah, 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 whatever. Like, I don't know. You're supposed to be like, well, I'm a badass person, so that's on him if he decides the, you know, the opposite or whatever. But, I mean, we all feel self-conscious, right? We all have self-esteem issues sometimes in our relationships where, you know, oh God, there's someone coming. Why does someone have to walk by when I'm filming? They're irrational fears most of the time and irrational thoughts because obviously if they were unhappy, they could just leave. But a part of me is like terrified of that happening. And so I feel like, am I good enough for him? And I think that's what it comes down to is, am I good enough for my friends? Am I a good enough friend? Am I a good enough girlfriend? Am I good enough for my boyfriend? Am I good enough for all my viewers, for my 350,000 subscribers? Am I disappointing them? And it's something I talk about with my therapist probably too much. I always talk about how I feel like I'm constantly disappointing people. And I think it's tied to having low self-esteem sometimes because I feel like I'm not performing well on YouTube. And not by performing by numbers, I mean I'm not performing well in the videos. Like I'm not coming across the way I want to. I'm not saying the things that I want to, and the editing, I'm just not putting in enough effort. So I do have a lot of projects coming up that I really, really love. And it takes multiple days for every video. And I have 3 in the works right now that I really like. So I have good content planned. It's just the content I've been doing lately I haven't been happy with. So I feel like I don't deserve the viewers that I have, all of you guys. And, you know, sometimes I feel like I don't deserve the people in my life and my boyfriend and stuff because, I don't know, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I'm sure you guys can relate to this feeling of being too critical on yourself and thinking that you're not good enough for everyone in your life and the things that you have. And you start to question, like, why are they even around? Why do they stay friends with me? Why is my boyfriend even still with me? And then when you get into that headspace, you're like, well, why am I even feeling this way? Like, why do I feel like I don't deserve these people? And then you feel even worse because you're feeling that way. So it's just like a cycle. And I know part of this is the depression that I feel in the winter because December and January are the worst times because I literally don't really see the sun. Depression convinces you that you're a bad person or that you're ugly and you're an ugly person. And obviously I don't truly believe those things, but it's really hard, especially because I studied psychology. I know what depression is from experience and from educational perspective. I know what it tells you, what it tells me. I know I know what it does, but it doesn't mean it's easy to separate the thoughts and not be convinced that you are a shitty person. I mean, I've gained confidence throughout the years as I've gotten older, but it's more so in the sense of I don't care what other people think. Like if I'm in the grocery store and I have no makeup on, because I'm about to go to Whole Foods after I film this video, I don't care. Like I really, if someone thinks I'm ugly without makeup on, doesn't faze me. YouTube hate comments, sometimes they faze me depending how personal they get, but if they're about my appearance and stuff like that, doesn't faze me because I'm past that. However, the age thing, I mean, obviously mentally, again, I know 28 is not old. I'm not 28 yet, I'm 28 in 2 months, but I know that that's like number-wise, it's not an old age. But in my mind, it is messing with me because I'm only 2 years away from being 30. So that, you know, aging has really gotten to me, and especially because I see YouTubers who are a little bit older than me or around my same age, I'm not gonna name names, getting plastic surgery and Botox. They get fillers in their face and lip injections, which I am all for, to do what you want to your face, and I have friends that, you know, want plastic surgery. I will be fully supportive of them. I will be there on the day of their appointment. I fully support that. But then I internalize that because I don't want to get those things. Does that mean I'm gonna look gross and old because I'm not doing these things? Because, I mean, I'm not gonna put the blame on the YouTubers that get work done because it's not their problem. It's my problem in my head. but it is like telling me, and it's like convincing me like, well, that's what I need to do to not look old. That's what I need to do to not feel old, which sounds hypocritical because I don't care what other people think, but at the same time, it's like pressure almost, which again, no blame to the YouTubers or people who do this. I mean, that's stupid to like blame them. It's just the feeling that I have when I see these things. So to me, it's like a part of my brain is like, well, that's what you need to do to not be ugly, is to get work done. And I try my best not to listen to that, but then I see my age signs a lot more because these people who are older than me look flawless, and here I am with my growing wrinkles. One eye is getting more hooded than the other because as you age, with hooded eyelids, they start to droop more. They just get heavier and more wrinkly, and I know I look young. Like, I'm not saying I look old. It's just when you look at your face in the mirror up close every single day, you're gonna notice changes. So obviously it's not something that you guys can probably see like just looking at me, but it is something I notice as you get older, and so I internalize all these changes happening. Gaining weight has been a huge thing. Hello. I have been putting on the pounds, granted not a lot, and I've kind of embraced it, but I have my days. Yesterday was one of those days. I was wearing sweatpants that used to fit. They're now too tight, and I realized I was like muffin topping over them, you know, like I was bulging out over them. And I realized I was criticizing my body, and I was even pointing this out to my boyfriend, which, you know, bless his heart for being so like supportive when I'm in these moments and like in these modes of like thinking. But I'm just like, look at this fat hanging over these pants. Like, I was thinking about that, and then later in the night, I took the pants off. I was like, you know what? Fuck these pants. Like, no, these pants are not the problem, or my weight is not the problem, it's these pants. And I put on like other pants, but it's because I don't do that in all pants. It's just the pants had shrunken and I have gained weight. So because they were fitting tightly, I was bulging, and I blamed my body instead of blaming the pants, which is not what you're supposed to do. Of course, it's easy though to say that and not do it, which I do it all the time. Clearly, last night I had my moments where I was blaming my body and thinking I was really ugly and gaining too much weight. And I have, you know, had moments in my life that have been scarily obsessive about my weight, and I don't ever want to go back to that. And if I ever feel like I'm in one of those headspaces again, I'm going to do everything in my power to change that. That's why I took those pants off once I realized the problem wasn't my body. But a part of me does feel silly for being almost 28 and having these issues of like physically thinking that I'm ugly and physically not being happy with my body and how it looks. And also emotionally and just mentally as who I am as a person. I think before I always had something going for me. Like, it was either I felt confident because I was working out, or I was getting good grades in school and I felt smart, and I felt like I was a good friend. I felt like I was always there. I was a good listener. And then I don't know what really happened. I just started feeling like I wasn't those things anymore. I started realizing that a lot of conversations I would have revolved around me. And a lot of times when I was trying to give advice to someone, I would start talking about myself. And it wasn't from a place of, oh, I want to talk about me now. It was me trying to relate to them and relate and be like, I know how you feel because this also happened to me. It was from that place. And I realized that can be annoying too because I'm bringing up myself. And so I would just, you know, I've reached a place where I feel like this sounds really dramatic, but I don't look good. Like, I don't feel confident on the exterior, and I don't feel like I'm a good person. So, you know, like, that's why I overthink about every single time I hang out with a friend if I was actually being a good friend. And I feel like me obsessing over that makes me not a good friend because I'm not present. I'm not with them in the moment, and instead of like actually being there and giving advice and trying to be a good friend and a good listener, I'm like how can I make sure that I'm being a good friend right now? You know, I'm like thinking about the idea instead of the actual verb of doing it. And then as I've gotten older, this again breaks my heart, but I do feel like, especially because I'm not in school, actually school is what really set this in for me, is I was never as smart as my classmates. I happened to be a good test taker, which is why I got decent grades, but I never saw myself in school, as in college that is, as really smart. And my like classmates were so smart, and I would just be so intimidated by them. Like, I'm really not that smart. And the fact that some of my videos I can't even talk about without a script, and some of my videos I can't even remember a sentence, makes me feel like I'm not that smart either. And I see all these other YouTubers who are so well-spoken and can just, I don't know, form opinions from an education like perspective and just be really knowledgeable about what they're talking about, and from like, and sounding intelligent about it. And I wish I was more like that, you know, and not, I don't know, I just feel like sometimes I sound dumb. I don't know. It all sounds kind of like an identity problem to me. Like, I used to identify certain ways, and then over the years that's kind of been torn down in my brain. And I haven't been identifying with old things that I used to feel, like confident in my body. I was strong. And, you know, because I've gained weight, that's kind of gone away. And which is stupid, because if anything, I'm stronger now. I can do way more push-ups now. I can do, you know, I mean, I'm not good at endurance, but I can do physical activities, and I feel really proud when I do my workouts and stuff, because I can do them, and I'm very grateful that I have built up my strength like that. But, you know, of course, in society, we're obsessed with the physical image of what is on the outside, which does not always represent what is on the inside and your ability. So it's just all of that is accumulating in my brain. And again, it's totally heightened by the fact that my depression's so bad right now. So I recognize that. And also it's heightened this week because I'm on my period, which, you know, that in itself, I'm on birth control, but I swear to God, like, my PMS symptoms are so bad. I have horrible mood swings and just really bad depression, and I'm so emotional on my period. So that's probably why this video happened at all, is because of my period, so we can thank my period for that. But these are legitimate thoughts and feelings that I've been feeling for probably 2 years now, where I just don't feel good enough in every realm of my life. And I know that's horrible and sad and depressing, but I wanted to have a real talk with you, because today's video, the cult one that I filmed, just felt fake. I'm not happy with it. I still want to post it because, like, overall it's an okay video. I'm just being extra critical on it, so I'll post it probably later this week if you want. But I just felt like I really needed to have a real life chat with you guys. This really long video with just looking at my steering wheel the whole time. Anyway, just be patient with me in these next few weeks as I'm focusing more on these other projects, and I'm really excited about them. They're not like spectacular huge things or anything, but they're ones that take more time than just a sit down video, and I'm really excited about them. Like I said, lookbooks are coming back, so I'm doing one of those right now, and I really like it. But I just kind of, I don't think I want to script my videos anymore. I don't think I mean, I'll bullet point, which is how it's supposed to be, but lately I've been a lazy YouTuber, and I apologize for that, because I don't know if any of you could sense it, but I felt like, you know, the reason why I wrote out my videos in the first place is because I feel like I'm a better writer than I am speaker, and I don't retain information that well. Like, my memory is horrible. So if I read an article and then sit down to film a video about it, I'm not going to remember a lot from it, so I have to write down everything, and then when I go to write down things, I end up writing sentences and then end up just saying those sentences verbatim in the videos, which is why there's so many harsh cuts, and I'm just not happy with that. That's not what I had in mind when I thought about scripting a video or writing a video out beforehand. So I apologize if that's come across as like disingenuous, or, I mean, for me, it just hasn't been feeling like myself. Like, I sit down to edit the video and I'm like, who is this person? Where am I, like, in this video? Sometimes my personality will come out, but usually it's about a topic that's, you know, sensitive or it would be inappropriate to crack jokes here and there. So yeah, anyway, that's all I really have to say about that for right now. I'm gonna go to Whole Foods now. I'm gonna try to get this video up today. But yeah, I mean, I can't really say I hope you guys enjoyed, but thank you for listening to my self-esteem rant spiel about being sad and not enjoying yourself all the time. You know, I mean, it's a process. We're not all super confident all the time. So yeah, let me know if you've experienced anything like this down below and your thoughts, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.